Welcome back to Dmac Mad Gaming. I'm your host Dmac, and we believe gaming is a lifestyle, not a hobby. Welcome back, guys. And today I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sorry I'm getting the video, guys, so late. It's been 2 weeks since I released my last video, but with COVID-19 and how the state of the country's in, it's kind of hard getting together with my partner, Dmac Gamer, to make videos for you guys. But we got a system down packed where we can start making videos. You'll get a video today and you get a video next week and a couple more throughout the following weeks since we're all in quarantine, so we can entertain you guys and keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the gaming industry. As I said, we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the reason I want to talk about that is because I've been talking to people in the community. A lot of people have really been talking about they can't wait to get their hands on it. Everyone has played it and gave great reviews on the demo and saying that it's a must buy. But then an article came out from Kotaku from Jason Schreier that everybody in the gaming community kind of dogged him on because they felt like he was just being a crybaby and complaining about things that really don't matter because this is a retelling of the original. Now, when I was reading these articles and stuff, I'll leave a link to these articles in the description box below for you guys to check out for yourselves. There's going to be a couple, 3 or 4 of them, so I recommend reading them because you can get my information from and understand where I'm coming from in this video. And so, like the title of the video, Final Fantasy VII is supposed to be remake was supposed to be bigger than the original one. That's the question that everybody's wanting. Is it going to be bigger and better than the original? From playing the demo already, it seems like it's going to be bigger than the original because the original is turn-based and this one is not turn-based. The gameplay mechanics has been changed up, refined, and they play wonderfully, very fluent, very fun, very intuitive. From playing the demo, I'm really excited for it. But because I played the demo and I never played Final Fantasy VII before, I decided to buy it for my Nintendo Switch and play it on my portable console. Now, the first Final Fantasy game I ever played was Final Fantasy X on a PlayStation 2. So, playing Final Fantasy VII is a treat for me because I wanted to play it because after playing the demo, I had to figure out what's different from the new remake than it is from the original. And I've been reading a lot of articles, keeping up on the development of this game, and the Square Enix has made it really clear, very transparent on what they're doing with this series, what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, because now it's a series, because it's going to be multi-part. It's a multi-part series where you'll be get new games that's telling a new part of the story in its entirety. So, like the first one that's coming out on April 10th is going to be telling the story about what is happening in Midgar. And that's what the whole game is going to be based on. And a lot of people like Jason Schreier was feeling like, well, if it's just going to tell the Midgar story, which is a big chunk of the game, but is it going to leave me wanting more? Am I going to be able to wait till the next game come out? Because when they talk about multi-part installments, it's multi-part series, is when they're going to tell a unique story in each game to complete the whole narrative of the whole story. And I played a game like this before back in the day on a PlayStation 2, which was Xenosaga, which was a fantastic RPG game, a lot of fun. The story was awesome. I loved it. But it was also a multi-part series game where they told different stories in different games. And when I first played that, it's because it came out so long ago, I was able to play all 3 of them at the same time. Now, playing all 3 of them at the same time for me was much more tolerable and much more accepting than having to wait till they develop the next game. So I understand how some people like Jason Schreier feels about having to wait for the next development of the next game. And Square Enix say that the reason they're doing this is because the retelling of this game is so huge that they can't fit it in one installment. They can't fit it in one game. And even with what they put in this one game, it's going to be on 2 discs. So that means they added a buttload more of content to this first part of the telling of the Final Fantasy VII Remake in this one game. So it's going to be a lot of content to go through and play through, which is cool for a lot of gamers that love the Final Fantasy series. I'm a big fan. Like I said, my first Final Fantasy game I ever played was Final Fantasy X. So, and I also played multi-part games like Xenosaga, and it was a wonderful game. I loved it, and it was a multi-part series game as well. So I can understand where Jason Schreier and some others in the gaming community, how they feel. They have to wait till the next part. But then I came across another article that said some good news. They're already done with figuring out what they want to do with the part 2, and it's already in works. They're already working on part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's good news. So we'll get it a lot sooner than we'll get it a lot sooner than we did with the original. So I think that's awesome. But can't take my word for it. Now let's look at another company like Capcom when they released Resident Evil 2 remake. A lot of people thought it was going to take a while before we get Part 3. And about a year after Resident Evil 2 remake came out, there was announced a Resident Evil 3, and then the following year. So it may go that way as well. I mean, we have to be optimistic about the situation. Like I said before, I've had played games that was episodic, where they told one story in one game and told another story in the next game. Like I say, the ones that comes to mind is Xenosaga, a wonderful narrative RPG, Japanese RPG game that I love to death. And I wish they would port it over to the PlayStation 4, remaster it or something, remaster how all three of them together. I would buy that. If they did a remaster of the Xeno sagas and bundled all three games together, I would buy that because that's one of my favorite Japanese RPG games ever, 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 ever on the PlayStation 2. So I would love that. And playing that was so awesome. So I have experienced multi-part series games before. So I'm not new to it. But a lot of people in the gaming community may be because they never play games like that. Or never had an interest in playing games like that. If you have played a title that had multi-parts to it, let me know the name of them in the comment section below. What games have you played that was multi-parts? Where you have to play multiple games to get the full story in the description box below. I'd love to know y'all guys' thoughts on that. But for me, it was Xenosaga, and it was a wonderful JRPG. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, a lot of people was hoping they get the entire Final Fantasy VII game with when it came out on April 10th. But because they had said that it's going to be multiple parts, they're wondering how long they have to wait for the next installment. And with the first installment being up to hold them over, and that's what Jason Schreier was kind of talking about in his article when he did a review on the demo. Like he said, the demo is awesome. It's a lot of fun, but just having the whole game based in Midgar, to him was a little discouraging because I mean Midgar is a big portion of the game, but not the majority of the game. And he was wondering how they're going to be able to pull that off with adding extra content in it. Now, a lot of YouTubers that are Final Fantasy fans, like Dreamcast Guy, say they're going to have butt total side quests and stuff to do. And you're going to be able to explore Midgar a lot. And the developers of Final Fantasy Remake said that you'll be able to explore more of Midgar and see more of the city, interact with more characters, and have more content within that game. So, from what they've been saying and what Square Enix has been telling us, they've been very transparent that yes, this is the first installment of the multi-part series that you will be able to get your hands on. But this first part will be enough content to hold you over. It will be a full-fledged AAA game that's worth just $60. And that's what everybody's wondering. Is it worth just $60? Is this going to be a full experience where it's going to hold you over into the next installment? And then on top of that, will the next installment be 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 1 year from now? Who knows? But from what I've been hearing through the community and been hearing online, they're already works on part 2. So that's good. I mean, that's awesome. When we heard about Resident Evil 2 remake and when it released, they told us that they was working on Resident Evil 3. And they was using the same engine that they used for Resident Evil 2. They was using that for Resident Evil 3. So that means less work for them to do to develop a new game. And I think because Final Fantasy Remake is being used by the Unreal Engine 4, that they will be able to do the same with Part 2. So, who knows? I don't know. All I know is that I'm hyped for Final Fantasy Remake that's coming out April 10th on 2020. I want to know what you guys think. Are you hyped for it? Are you concerned about the multi-part? Do you feel like that turns you off? Do you feel like you just wait till all the games come out? Have you played any other game that has multi-parts to it, like Xenosaga or any other game? Let me know all you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for sending in the video. I really appreciate it. Make sure that like button helps out the channel. Make sure you share helps out as well. And as always, stay safe, keep gaming, and stay safe and keep isolated. Talk to you guys later. Bye.